Where has Tennessee been good, and where does Tennessee gotta get better? After the bye week when Arkansas comes to town.
You are Locked On Vols, your daily podcast on the Tennessee Volunteers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up, everybody? Welcome into it, your Friday morning Locked On Vols. I am your host, Eric Cain. Appreciate you guys for being here, making Locked On Vols a part of your morning routine, your first listen, your first watch each and every single morning. We got Boogie Bentley of the Talking Vols Network going to join me here for today's show. Going to go position group by position group and talk about how will they perform so far this season, who needs to step up, and what needs to change, if anything, in order for Tennessee to reach its potential the rest of the way. Today's episode is brought to you in part by our friends over at Mazda. Like our players, we sweat every detail because when you make every move count, pulling off the unexpected, it's only the beginning. Stay tuned later for highlights and this week's Moving the Game Forward, Mazda Move and Be Moved. So without further ado, let's get into my conversation with Boogie Bentley of the Talking Vols Network. It is the bye week, but we still have a little Locked On Talking Vols here on a Friday morning, getting you ready for your football weekend, stress-free football weekend. How about that, Boogie? Just sit around, watch football, and be a normal person and not have to worry about your team or stress out about your team, or for you and I got to work. It's going to be a good Saturday as long as I don't have to go to Chattanooga. It's going to be a great Saturday.
Yeah, what's going to happen? Is Vanderbilt going to actually beat Alabama? Diego Pavia talking all this trash. I don't know where I stand. If they finally beat Alabama, do I have to give Vanderbilt credit? Because I don't want to do it. They're Vanderbilt. I don't want to give them credit. But if they beat Alabama, college football is wild in 2025, where we can spend a 10-minute segment talking about Alabama and Vanderbilt, and you can sell me on either team winning that game.
Finally beat Alabama. They beat them last year, Boogie.
No, I didn't. Did I say finally? I don't think I said finally. I didn't mean finally.
I know what I said. I didn't mean it. I do that all the time. Like, you said this. I'm like, no, I didn't. And then they're like, here it is. I'm like, oh, well, I didn't mean to say that, so I didn't say it.
When we get into this and we start talking about Tank McCullough again, then I'll continue to claim I didn't say it.
It's gonna be a fun weekend, man. To your point, like I think the slate this weekend's a little light, and that's why I think Vanderbilt and Alabama's the college game day, but still, I mean, there's a lot of juice there because of what happened last year. I think Alabama looks a lot better than what it did, obviously, in week one, so that should be fun. But really, really looking forward to being a fan this weekend. It's going to be a blast. Don't know if you saw it earlier this week, and I brought it on this show yesterday, but I put a positional power rankings for Tennessee football in the bye week. I want you to go through this and poke holes and tell me how I'm stupid, how I'm wrong. First, we'll go through each position group, and we can kind of give a synopsis and get your thoughts on that position group so far this season as we're here in the bye week. But first, kind of a look at it as a whole from top to bottom. Actually, let me go in the bottom to top. So we'll start at number one. Number one in my power rankings is quarterback. Number two is wide receivers. Number three is offensive line. Number four is defensive line. Number five is running backs. Number six is cornerbacks. Number seven is tight ends. Number 8 is linebackers. Number 9 is special teams. And number 10 is safeties and star. Any big misses? Did I mess anything up big time just from that first glance?
No, I don't see any big misses. There's some things that I can nitpick with you, and we can argue and we can debate. You got the defensive line at number 4. And man, it's kind of crazy when you look at it, right? You're at the top with 20 sacks on the year, leading the nation. You're up there towards the top in the top 10, maybe around top 5, even with tackles for loss.
Number 8.
But you've struggled at times in the run game. You're not contained. Coach A keeps screaming and preaching. They're not getting contained. But man, that defensive line, they've been impressive. If they get healthy, that's the interesting thing too. If you look at this list, how does it shift and change if Tennessee is healthy? But it's hard to argue that your quarterback's at the top. Maybe I want to shift and move the offensive line just a little bit. You start at the bottom, safeties. You include Star in there. And you know how much of that is Boo Carter not handling business back during fall camp. You know, if he's playing the star, is McMurray, Jalen McMurray, not McCullough.
Yeah.
Is he playing true corner and you're not leaning on a true freshman in Ty Redmond as much? And Ty Redmond's been impressive. I think this list pretty dang good, pretty dang accurate. You can go check it out at volquest.com.
My guy,
I like it.
My guy, plugging it along the way. Let's continue that conversation. Let's visit each of these position groups, safety and star. I think safety's been a bit underwhelming. Okay, I think Tennessee's had its best safety play last year when they were rotating 4 guys, and I just think they don't have the luxury of doing that this year. That way, Turrentine and Idris Farouk, who's only a sophomore, playing 90-plus snaps a game. And I just don't think that that's the way to go. They tried to force Caleb Beasley in there. He only had 8 snaps at Mississippi State, so clearly they're going with the 2 guys they trust, much like they did with Tank McCullough, Trayvon Flowers, Tank McCullough, and Wesley Walker for so many years, right? And I think they need more guys playing back there. But I don't have an answer, man, because if it's not Beasley, I don't think Sidney Walton's there yet. Everybody keeps asking, well, can they move McMurray back there? Could they move Boo Carter back there? The answer is no. If they were ever going to move someone back there, it would be Boo. It would not be McMurray. But I don't see that happening midway through the season. It's easy to move. It's kind of like tackle can go to guard. It's more difficult for guard to go out to tackle. Safeties can go down and out, corners can go in and up. Safeties can't go down and out, if that makes sense, right? It's kind of that's kind of the flow of things. But yeah, safeties I've not been too impressed with so far. I like Idris Farouk, but I think he's got still a little ways to go, as do most young players.
Yeah, Idris Farouk is hit or miss, man. He plays downhill. He plays fast. He plays aggressive. Mississippi State, he whiffed. You may play downhill and play aggressive, but he whiffed. But I think when you look at safety, is that the one – you can even include secondary as a whole here. Corners, safety. Look at what you've got at corner. Jamar McCoy gets healthy. That was a transfer portal guy. Ty Redmond's a true freshman. Colton Hood, a transfer portal guy. And then even Ricky Gibson. I know he's out for the year, but it was Ricky Gibson. It was Christian Conyer. It was Jordan Matthews. 2 of those 3 guys are gone. You hit on one of the 3, but it feels like corners. It feels like secondary when we talk about recruiting at the high school level. Kind of been a position group you've not really gone and got that big-time guy. Shady Hayward really seemed like he was a guy that was going to end up at Tennessee. And when you talk about getting some help playing 4 guys, you talk about Sidney Walton, how much different would that look if that was a guy like Shady Hayward? You mentioned Caleb Beasley. He was a corner, now switching back to safety. We're young at that position group. So I do see it at the bottom. But I think some of that is just recruiting. I think Tennessee has missed on some elite guys at the safety position. Maybe not prioritize them with the way they attack high school recruiting.
Also, I don't know if you mentioned him. You probably did. Andre Turrentine, actually a transfer as well.
Yeah.
He's been here forever, but he was a transfer. Went to Ohio State first. And I also think safety recruiting. Now, there are some elite guys. Like there's Caleb Downs. You mentioned Shady Hayward's a good player, but like in recruiting, there's not a lot of elite safeties. There's a lot of elite. It's like there's not a lot of elite interior offensive linemen. Like there's elite tackles. Like again, it's kind of different. But again, there are safeties who are very, very good, and it's up to Tennessee to find those and develop those guys and play those guys. Number 9, special teams, man, and I feel bad for Josh Tuberville and Jackson Ross. Ain't done nothing wrong. But with several muff punts. With the one on Saturday that led to a touchdown. Braylon Staley let one roll down to the 1. Of course, Boo Carter muffing a couple before that in the season. Max Gilbert missing a couple field goals, including a game winner. Your punt return team allowing a 4th down fake punt to convert for a first down. I mean, it's towards the bottom right now, man. Got to get better.
Yeah, and why is Braylon out there? And I get it. Boo Carter had the muff punt. Boo Carter gives you the most opportunity. Boo Carter's electric with the football in his hands. I don't know what happened in the muff punt. It looked like lackadaisical. I don't even remember what the broadcast team said it when Boo Carter muffed that punt. But Boo Carter gives you the biggest advantage to flip the field. We've seen it too many times. I don't know why Braylon was back there to return that punt. I don't know why Josh Heupel made that decision, or whoever made that decision decided to roll with Braylon Staley. And then on the second one, it's almost like that lack of confidence, right? He knew he had fumbled that first one. That second one took a hop. It looked like a pretty easy ball to field, and Braylon just said, no, I'm going to let it roll. Goes all the way down to the 1. Max Gilbert, it's frustrating, man, because Max Gilbert was almost automatic. Like last year, what did he have? 1 miss that was inside 50 yards. I mean, I know he had several misses on the season. He had the Kentucky game, I think, where he had the flu or whatever in that game.
They threw him out there during that stretch, like Florida, Alabama, somewhere around there, because Tennessee's offense was so bad. So it was like we're just so hungry for something. Hey, Max, go out there, 55-yard field goal, let's go. Max, 54-yard field goal, let's go. And he missed them. And then that's why that Mississippi State game, when he made 4 or 5 or whatever, he was so jacked up because he needed that. But you're right. I don't have the numbers in front of me. He was really accurate within 45 on the season last year.
Yeah, last year, 9 of 10 from 30 to 39 and 4 of 6 from 40 to 49. 3 of 6 from 50 plus. He kicked 6 field goals from 50 plus. Max Gilbert was pretty automatic. But man, oh man, what do you remember? What do you remember about Max Gilbert's career thus far? You remember that he missed the kick against Georgia. And I love the way that Josh Heupel responded to it with the media saying, specialists have a limited opportunity. And when they don't capitalize on that opportunity, it's what everybody's talking about. Max Gilbert makes that kick. He's a hero. We're still talking about him being a hero for the rest of our life. We beat Georgia. We're undefeated right now, getting ready to roll into Arkansas in the back half of the schedule. But he missed it. So you grade what you can grade. Special teams, yeah, it's right down there at the bottom.
Let's get one more. Let's squeeze one more in here before we hit a reset. I put linebackers at number 8, and this one's so confusing for me because, gosh, I love the collection of guys in there. And next year, I love the guys they're adding to the room. I think that these are some real players. I think Arion Carter, he's not been perfect, but I think he's been pretty solid. I think he's also NFL draft bound after this year. I know he had 17 tackles against Mississippi State, but yeah, I got to be honest with you. I had no clue he had that many during the game. I think the majority of them were assisted tackles. Not taking anything away from him, but that's probably why I didn't recognize he had so many tackles. But he's leading the SEC in tackles right now, so that's awesome. So good for him. His play on 4th and goal was incredible, coming off his man, batting that ball away. I'm good with Arion Carter, who's playing through an injury right now. Jeremiah Thielander has some limitations. Edwin Spillman has some limitations, but he's playing just as many snaps, if not more, played more on the road at Mississippi State than Jeremiah Thielander did. He's continuing to get better. What's this rotation looking like? After not playing in Power 4 games, Jordan Burns came out and played 13 snaps. What? Ben Bolton's still getting in there. Where's Jaden Harmon? I don't know about linebacker right now. I think this group can be so much better, but it's not really playing up to its potential right now.
I don't pretend to sit here and be able to break down X's and O's. But there's something about Tim Banks' defense. Do we not have the level of linebacker that we need? I think Arion Carter's a pretty dang good linebacker. I think Thielander is a pretty dang good linebacker. But it seems like this defense, Tim Banks, his defense stresses linebacker play, and it puts them in conflict. And we're always talking about the middle of the field. And here we're talking about position groups. And at the bottom, you got safeties and star. And now you got special teams, and now we're talking linebackers. So safeties and linebackers. And what's the big weakness in this defense that everybody can point to? It's the middle of the field. Is it because we don't have the players? We don't have the Jimmies and Joes at safety? We don't have the Jimmies and Joes at linebacker? Or is it just Tim Banks and his defense puts a lot of pressure on those guys? I can't tell you. Maybe you can answer that question. I think one thing we're missing at linebacker is a 4th dude. You mentioned it at safety. I think we're also missing it at linebacker. Arion Carter, Jeremiah Thielander, Edwin Spillman's a dude. You need that 4th guy. And I'm not going to sit here and throw darts at Ben Bolton. He's a walk-on for a reason. We need that 4th guy. I hoped it was Jordan Burns. I hope he continues to come along because I think he could possibly be that 4th guy in the rotation.
Yeah, Coach Jay could tell you a whole lot more than I could, certainly. But I do think like any offensive coordinator worth their salt nowadays, I mean, you're always trying to put linebackers in stress. It used to be downhill, now it's sideline to sideline. Putting guys, spreading things out, that's why the body type of a linebacker has changed so much. That's why Aaron Beasley was kind of the perfect prototypical linebacker for 2025, right? Like, wasn't very big, former safety, athletic, could add a little bit, kind of light in the butt, but still like, could hold his own in between the tackle box. I just think that linebackers are constantly being put in strenuous situations because everything's so spread out now. But got to find a way. Got to go out there and play for sure. We're going to continue on. We'll go 7 through 1. We'll get Boogie's thoughts on these position groups. It's a time to clean up, time to self-scout. It's the bye week, right? That's what Tennessee's doing this weekend, and that's what we're doing here on Locked On Vols. When we return, we'll talk a whole lot of offensive position groups that are near the top of the list because that's exactly what we thought coming into the year. The offense was going to lead the way right here on Locked On Talking Ball. This episode is brought to you in part by Mazda, moving the game forward for those who believe it's not just about playing the game, it's about redefining it. These are some moments that do more than put just points on the board. They move crowds, move culture, and keep moving the game forward. This week's moving the game forward moment came from Joey Aguilar. That last drive, not the last drive of regulation against Mississippi State, but the second to last drive when they marched down the field, 13 plays, took 7 minutes off the clock. They tied the football game at 34 all, right? He was a little bit inaccurate coming into that fourth quarter. 6 for 6 on the drive for 54 yards and a 6-yard touchdown run. Joey Aguilar truly moved the game forward. When you follow what moves you, the unexpected is only the beginning. And just like there's more to every highlight, there's more to every Mazda vehicle. Mazda, where you can move and be moved. It's a big thanks to our friends over at Mazda, and it's It's almost the weekend, right? Time to look back and crown this week's MVP. Who delivered? Powered by DoorDash. Just like you can win every Saturday with DoorDash Streaks, saving more every time you order, these players delivered when it mattered the most. Let's break it down. Well, let's go defense, shall we? Arion Carter, 17 tackles. Currently leading the SEC with 49 tackles. One of the only FBS players to have that many tackles this year. An incredible effort, right? 17 tackles for Arion Carter, your SEC Defensive Player of the Year. He truly was on a streak. He's been on a streak all year long. I think that guy's going to the NFL after this football season, that being Arion Carter. Just like Arion Carter delivered for the Tennessee Vols, DoorDash delivers for your Saturdays. With DoorDash Streaks, you save every Saturday you order. Stack it up all season, and you could save up to $250, including a $100 DoorDash credit. Order this Saturday. Keep the streak alive. Fuel your game day only with DoorDash. Terms apply. Promo period through November the 18th. All right, Boogie, tight ends at number 7. I think that was a pretty hard grade for myself, not going to lie. And I think on the podcast, I don't know why I'm hating on tight ends this week. I think on the podcast, VolQuest podcast on Thursday, I think I graded them at like a C-. Like, that's pretty tough on the tight ends. I think it's Miles Kitselman's playing way too many snaps, and I know Ethan Davis hasn't played the last 2 games, but even against Georgia, he played 15 snaps. Jack Van Dorselaer, who's a true freshman who I thought blocked his tail off against Mississippi State. The 6 snaps he was in there, right? I mean, he was huge. He needs to play more snaps. Clearly, Alec Ablin doesn't trust anybody else other than Miles Kitselman right now. I think it's fairly obvious, and I think Tennessee doesn't need to go a lot of 12 personnel because 11 is humming with the wide receivers. But I think Miles Kitselman playing 73 snaps against Mississippi State is way too many. Could that have contributed to not bringing in those footballs on the interceptions? Maybe. I don't know. Probably not, but maybe. I just think he's playing way too much. And so I think pretty harsh grade for me, but I think that's kind of where I'm leaning to. And also, I think a lot of these other position groups specifically are playing better.
Yeah, but like you said, you look at the tight end room. If he's playing too many snaps, who are you going to roll with? Because it's Ethan Davis, who's been out, like you mentioned, or it's a true freshman in Jack Van Dorselaer or Desan Brame. Like that's the tight end room that you're looking at right now. And Ethan Davis is a guy you keep waiting, right? You keep waiting to take a next step. And I think you and I maybe even had this conversation in the offseason. It's like Ethan Davis is sitting in that room going, are you going to bring another dude in the portal and just keep recruiting over me, keep going to the portal, and I'm just going to keep – if they brought somebody in the portal, I think Ethan Davis is not here this season. I think that's just a reality. But on the flip side, we keep waiting for him to take a step, and we are not seeing him take a step, and then being injured doesn't help that anymore. It's easy to point at Miles Kitselman. And a guy that, man, you got to praise for his leadership, right? You got to praise for his leadership in the offseason. You mentioned the tipped balls getting intercepted. I love the way that both guys approach that.
Yeah, me too.
You know, Joey says, bad ball location. Miles says, I got to catch those. That's what dudes taking ownership
and Boogie, I think
like.
both is right. Like, could the ball have been thrown better? Absolutely. Also, you had your freaking hands on it. Catch it. So I think both are exactly right. Like, throw a better ball, make the freaking catch. And I think sorry to jump in here. I think they both handled it perfectly in postgame.
Look at Chris Brazzell. On the last drive, 4th and 4. Bail your quarterback out. That wasn't a good throw. But Chris Brazzell goes and makes a play, bails his quarterback out. I think preseason we're questioning the wide receiver room, right? We're saying, does Chris Brazzell take that second-year step? Is Mike ready? Is Braylon ready? Maybe we need to attack with the tight ends. Man, I don't know that we need to attack with the tight ends. Get out there and block, and let's sling the rock around to Chris Brazzell, Braylon Staley, and Mike Matthews. So ranking-wise, I don't agree or disagree with you. I'm fine with the tight ends being number 7. I don't know that it really matters. This offense, like you said, is humming.
Cornerbacks, number 6, and I wanted to separate the entire secondary from the corners because, I know Tyler Redmond. I have to write it Tyler Redmond for it to like recognize his name in the base, and so it always when I'm reading his name, I say Tyler, which is annoying because he goes by Ty. I know Ty Redmond's getting picked on as, again, any offense coordinator would, true freshman. But I also know he's made some plays, and Colton Hood has been, he's almost been elite. To be honest with you,
he has been elite. Not almost, dude's been elite.
I mean, it's been incredible. Like he's allowed 7 receptions on 19 targets, 56 yards, and a touchdown. And I always want to throw in there. I didn't write this, but I always want to throw in there and the 2-point conversion against Georgia because they didn't communicate that very well. But he's played so well, man, and he's scored 2 defensive touchdowns. He's already got a career high in snaps. He's been awesome. And again, like. Tennessee's down at starting corners, Jerron McCoy and Ricky Gibson. So, like, Colton Hood was going to play it anyway. Like, they were going to rotate. I mean, he was going to play, but gosh, I mean, this might have been the biggest, outside of Joey Aguilar, this has been the biggest pickup of the offseason, no doubt. So I wanted to separate the corners from the secondary because I do think the corners are playing better if you look at corner play and second and safety play, but also I recognize the corner has something to do with Tennessee's pass defense statistically being so poor.
I know Josh Heupel says you can't put an asterisk beside it. Nobody cares if you're hurt. I do care. So that's why here I'm bumping these guys up. I'm bumping the corners up ahead of running backs. I'm bumping the corners up ahead of defensive line because you're talking about your third and fourth guy. How much different does this team look if Jermod McCoy's healthy, if Ricky Gibson is healthy, and you have a true rotation? And Colton Hood, man, they're predicting to be a first-round draft pick. Are you kidding me? And he was going to be your third best corner on this football team. He's been phenomenal. 2 touchdowns, you mentioned, 2 defensive touchdowns. That's not happened at Tennessee in, I think, 15 years, I think they said on the broadcast. Colton Hood is a dude I love post-game because he came on our channel, and Coach Jay always asks about trash talk. Are you a talker? Do you talk on the field? We ask who's the big talker that everybody always says, Boo Carter. Colton Hood's like, I don't really talk much trash. Yeah, I don't talk trash unless they talk to me. What's he say he does when Josh Joseph's with the scoop and score? I realized we had the football, and I looked at the sideline and started talking trash. Like that, you're that dude, man. I love me some Colton Hood. What he's doing on the field is impressive. His personality is shining. I love that kid. I'm bumping these guys up. Even Ty Redmond. Yeah, he struggled at times. Georgia went after him. That's Georgia. And I get it. They don't remember you for what you did against UAB and against Syracuse. That kid, as a true freshman, at the start of the year was grading out as one of the best defensive players on the team, period, as a whole. 3-star U, Boogie. He's a 3-star. Yeah, and he's starting at corner for Tennessee and being graded out as the highest guy. I'm bumping these guys up. I'm really high on these corners. How much better are they? Do we get Jermon McCoy back for Arkansas? And if we do, how much better is this defense?
Look at the running backs. Have them at number 5. Overall, been just fine. Want to run the football more consistently in the 2 SEC games. I recognize that. I also recognize Tennessee as one of the best passing offenses in the country. I think that, again, everybody loves Star, and I like Star too. Don't get me wrong. Everybody was, saying Deshaun Bishop doesn't need to play anymore. I mean, I think there's clearly a spot for Deshaun Bishop in this backfield, but I do think those are the top 2. Peyton Lewis is number 3. They both bring a little something different to the table. But I think the running backs overall, about middle of the pack right now, number 5. In the 3 non-SEC games so far, they've rushed for over 200 yards. Syracuse is a 250 almost, but 138 and 135 or something in the 2 SEC games. That needs to be better.
Yeah, and how much of it, I was kind of talking about this in a video that I just made, and it's like, are we choosing not to run the football? Now, I know Georgia, you can probably question the 3-man front and struggling to run the football. It feels like there hasn't been a commitment to run the football, but is that because you're having so much success throwing the football? I think it feels more like a decision than, we can't run the football, but it's just having so much success throwing the football. But we said this was going to be a 3-headed monster, right? Deshaun Bishop, 49 carries. Star Thomas, 52 carries. Peyton Lewis, 35 carries. Touchdowns, 4, 4, and 3. Deshaun Bishop averaging almost 7 yards a carry. Star Thomas, almost 6 yards a carry. Peyton Lewis, almost 5 yards a carry. I'm feeding Deshaun Bishop and Star Lewis on this back half of the schedule, but it almost just feels non-eventful. Like, I can't criticize the running backs. They've been just fine. I just feel like we just don't run the football as much as we did a year ago.
It certainly doesn't feel that way because they were handed to Dylan Sampson for 27 times a game, and Tennessee couldn't throw the football. I think a lot of it is perception because, again, like they have not abandoned the run. They had I don't have it in front of me. They had 34 attempts in that game. I mean, clearly they're running the ball. It just doesn't feel like it compared to last year and because of the way this passing offense is going. Top 4 position groups. Let's talk about some of the position groups that have, quite frankly, just balled out this year. That's coming up next as we conclude this Friday morning Locked On Vols. Hey guys, I want to tell you about Peloton. Peloton is shaping the future of fitness with brand new Peloton cross-training thread. Powered by Peloton IQ. It's their most advanced equipment yet, designed to give you real-time guidance and endless ways to move, whether you're running, lifting, or cross-training with your favorite instructors. This is a training reimagined. Peloton is built for breakthroughs with tools that help you plan, stay motivated, and reach peak performance. I love how the Peloton IQ system offers real-time strength coaching. It actually tracks your reps, suggests the right weights, and corrects your form, making every rep safe and smarter. The swivel screen is a game changer. You can go from running on the Tread Plus to strength training without missing a beat. So let yourself run, lift, flex, and push forward. Explore the new Peloton Cross Training Thread Plus today at onepeloton.com. Boogie, Tennessee leads the nation with 20 sacks. It's not all the defensive line, but it starts up there. 5 sacks from defensive linemen against Mississippi State. Tennessee is top 10, as you mentioned earlier in the show, in TFLs in the country. Tennessee defensive line, again, despite missing a couple of guys for injury, saying goodbye to a couple of guys in the interior to graduation, and of course James Pierce is a first-round draft pick. This defensive line has been pretty good. They need to tighten some things up on contain. Okay, they need to set the edge better in the run. But Joshua Joseph's making money. Caleb Herring's been good. Tyree West has been awesome. Bryson Eason, Dominic Bailey in the middle have been good. I mean, this defensive line, it's been fun to watch, man. It's been a whole lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, and banged up too, right? Like, how much better is this defensive line if you've got Jackson Moy healthy? How much better is it if you have David Hobbs healthy? And, Josh Josephs, you got 3 guys with 3 sacks. Josh Josephs, Tyree West, and Caleb Herring. Tyree West is the one I'm looking at. A guy when you've been waiting. And I think even preseason, I'm saying, I think Tyree West is going to be that guy to take that jump. And it didn't really happen initially, but he's been playing good football lately. That's exciting to see. I feel like they're just so dang deep at the edge position. It's like, seeing Caleb Herring, does that surprise you? Absolutely not. Josh Josephs just being who Josh Josephs is. Jordan Ross, like, it's just every single cycle, it feels like Coach Garner goes out and gets that next dude at the edge position. How about Don Bailey, man? Like, Don Bailey going into his last year, his last ride, and you ask him to slide inside. We need you to slide inside, and just being a team player and playing. I just keep going back to the Georgia game, man. Him and Bryson Eason laid out on the ground. They truly gave their all for Tennessee, like 90 snaps. This defensive line's been impressive. Like you said, you got to clean some things up in the run game. Maybe statistically, the run numbers don't look that bad. Got to be better in the run game. Mississippi State, I felt like if they had just kept running the football, I don't know that we come out with a win in that game. Am I weird? Like, how are teams throwing for so many yards against Tennessee? We all say pass defense starts up front, get into the quarterback, impact the quarterback. You lead the country in sacks, but you're horrible against the pass. Make it make sense.
Well, I give Tennessee credit in the fourth quarter. Tennessee shut down the run. It was kind of crunch time, and I know Mississippi State had the lead for the majority of the fourth quarter. Tennessee had that long sustaining drive, though. Yeah. 7 minutes. But Tennessee shut down the run in the fourth quarter. Tennessee obviously shut down the run in overtime. So for as bad as it was, and really it was just Fluff Bothwell. The Booth had a lot of carries. Tennessee, I think he scored a touchdown, but Tennessee bottled him up pretty well. It was like 18 carries, 55 yards. Like, I'll take that. It was just Fluff Bothwell. Too many. It was just Tennessee didn't have an answer.
That's what it looked like while Tennessee was whiffing. That's what it looked like.
Yeah, exactly.
Like they could not tackle.
But I'll give Tennessee credit where credit's due there in the end of the game. But you mentioned the you mentioned the Leos, and somebody asked this on one of the Mailbag podcasts earlier this week, like, why did Caleb Herring and Jordan Ross only get 27 and 24 snaps respectively? What's going on there? It's like, let's think about this, guys. That's your second string and third string Leo, and they're getting 27 and 24 snaps. That's pretty that's impressive in my opinion. Joshua Joseph got 44 snaps, like 42 snaps. That's really impressive for me. And it just goes to quality of depth and how Rodney Gardner's going to play his guys for sure. Let's go down defensive. Let's go to offensive line. I might be more proud of this group than any group. I don't think it's the biggest surprise because I think that's wide receivers. But this group's been awesome, and I think it's going to get even better. Bump Perry back inside, bring Sanders out there to right tackle. I think this group has the potential to be even better. Maybe that can help Tennessee run the football more consistently in SEC games with Sanders at right tackle and shoring up the interior with Perry. They need to get healthy this bye week, that's for sure. But I love this group. They protected the ball carrier very well, protected the quarterback very well. It's been fun to watch.
Yeah, I almost bumped this group. Dang, I could. It's hard to not have Joey at number one, but I could almost pinpoint the success of this offense being 100% on this offensive line, right? How much easier is it for Joey when this offensive line is protecting him? And when you look at the numbers and the stats, it's like one of the sacks came in mop-up duty against the twos. One of the sacks came because Joey simply dropped the football. They are keeping Joey clean, and they have kept him clean all year long against Georgia, right? It's like, who cares if they keep him clean against UAB and ETSU? Kept him clean against Georgia, kept him clean against Mississippi State. I think he took finally his first true sack in that game. This offensive line, I could argue that they're the best position group on this football team. And so many question marks, so many concerns, right? Because you're losing so many guys. You're losing Cooper. That was huge. What does it look like, a Josh Heupel offense without Cooper Mays at center? We've not seen that since he's been here. So many veteran guys. And I think we talked about this on our show Wednesday night. Some of y'all out there owe Glenn Ellaby an apology. Some of y'all wanted to fire Glenn Ellaby. Some of you guys wanted to fire Kelsey Pope. And now we look at Kaner's list here. Oh, we got the wide receivers and the offensive line right up there at the top. Well, he can't develop at the high school level. Really? Is Dave Sanders going to be starting against Arkansas? We'll find out. If not, Jesse Perry's done a fine job playing right tackle, sliding out there and playing right tackle. I love this offensive line. I'm with you. Wendell Moy, what a great addition. Sam Pendleton, great addition. You keep saying this. We're not talking about Lance Hurd. That's a good thing. Yep. Lance Hurd, you said that making some money this year. And man, I'm excited about Dave. It was fun to see Dave get into the game. And, of course, he is so juiced up and full of energy. This coaching staff knows what the best lineup looks like. Is that sliding back Dave at right tackle and moving Jesse back into guard, sliding Wendell Moy over. But, man, you kind of piecemealed this thing together because of the injury to Dave, and they've not skipped a beat. This offensive line, I screw it. I'm saying it, Kaner. Best position group for me. Best position group. That's how much I love this group.
Woo. It's been good, man. It's been fun. They've done a really, really good job. And again, like, your starting five was going to be Sanders at right tackle and Perry inside. And so, like, because you have this bye week, if everybody gets healthy, I mean, I see no reason why to not roll with that against Arkansas. But we'll see. We'll see for sure. Even though I think Sham, if you had to pick out a weak link of the bunch, it was Sham Umaro. But I think he's done a good job. He's done a really, really good job. He certainly had his moments. Let's combo this last one here as we're running out of time. Wide receivers number 2 and quarterback, who you're a big hater of, obviously, because you'd have the offensive line there at number 1. Joey Aguilar coming in here at number 1. There we go. Of all the questions, all the unknowns. Had no clue what you were going to get in Joey Aguilar at this level. Had no clue what you were going to get in your wide receivers. In experience outside of Brazzell and Young, few in numbers, they've been phenomenal, man. I give credit to the individuals. I give credit to the offensive tweaks and the self-scout in the offseason, the ability to evolve, to listen to other voices like Seth Luttrell and other voices like, and your analyst, and go out there and change some things. And it's been fun to see different I mean, this year, from a football, like, nutty person, I've loved going back on the rewatch just saying, oh, wow, I didn't see that yesterday. Damn, that looks awesome. It's been so much fun. And then you got to have a quarterback that makes the throws, right? And Joey Aguilar, I mean, there's not much to say, and I'm not going to say a whole lot. He's been simply incredible. Leading the SEC in yards, tied for touchdowns. Should he be on Heisman boards? No. Should he be considered one of the top 15 quarterbacks in the country right now? 1,000%. He's been awesome. It's been fun to watch. Can't wait to watch him the rest of the season.
Should he be on Heisman boards, Kaner? Yes, he should. Does he need to be in the top 3, the top 5? No, but should he be in the top 10? Should he be on the little on 3 list? Yeah, you need to email your bosses and tell them to get their stupid list straight, because he needs to be up there. Why does he need to be up there? Because you go Google what the Heisman Trophy is all about, and it is laid out picture perfectly for Joey Aguilar. It's about outstanding performance. It's about diligence and perseverance. Winners typically embody hard work, dedication, and the ability to overcome challenges. Do we want to talk about Joey Aguilar? Do we want to talk about riding the train to the City College of San Francisco, Diablo Valley? Do we want to talk about going to App State? Man, he is the picture-perfect 30 for 30 story, but nobody. I'm sitting here wearing an App State shirt. I did not think he could do it at this level in the SEC. I did not think he would be leading the conference in yards and touchdown passes. Didn't see it, but he like you blend in the wide receivers and the quarterback together. He compliments Chris Brazzell, because what's Chris Brazzell good at doing? Going up and winning those 50-50 balls. And Joey ain't scared to let it rip. And I think we had a quarterback last year that was scared to let it rip. Joey is not. They are benefiting each other. Man, it's been a fun thing to watch. It feels like the 22 offense is back. Maybe it feels like the 22 defense is back as well. But this quarterback, these wide receivers, they got to be better. They got to continue to get better. Chris Brazzell's been special. Braylon Staley has shined at the right times. And I think Mike Matthews is quietly putting together some good numbers too.
Okay, I don't think this is the 2022 defense. I'm going to stop you right there. I know the yards and the stats. I hear you, but I did a whole show about this on Tuesday. Scoring defense, and I know you will know this because you watch the games, you rewatch the games. Scoring defense is such a misleading stat. It's incredible, right?
So are the passing yards. The passing yards are too. Honestly.
Yeah, I mean, you lead 42-7 at halftime against UAB, and a quarterback that started his career at Florida is what it is. But like sometimes stats can be so skewed. Tennessee's got to get better. I'm not saying like the rush defense got to get better. They need to short some things up in the back end. I hear you. Like there's a lot of things they need to improve, but sacks, TFLs, takeaways, like they're hitting on all those. And I think like for the 2022 defense specifically, obviously that wasn't a part of that repertoire. You mentioned Joey Aguilar and the offense and the quarterbacks and all that. Like Brent Hubbs had a great story up on Thursday of this week about how this is the best start statistically for any Josh Heupel offense in the passing game at Tennessee. So we always reference 2022. Now, what happened game 6 or 7 or whatever it was in 2022, Alabama, 5 touchdowns and all that. So, but through 5 games, this is the best passing start ever for a Josh Heupel offense at Tennessee. It's been a whole lot of fun to watch. Go read that story over at volquest.com. Boogie, appreciate you as always, man. What do you guys got coming up? It's been the bye week. What do you guys got coming up on a Friday, on a Saturday? You taking the weekend off? I hope you are. But, of course, back to business with, I would assume, me Monday morning as well.
Yeah, we are going to chill over the weekend. Got some videos coming your way. We are making a change to the schedule. So Sunday.
You won't even tell me what it is. I'm like, Boogie, what's your big announcement? I can't tell you. I'm like, well, screw you, man.
That's a true story. A text message comes through right after the tweet. What's that? Can't tell you. I am sworn to secrecy. We are dotting some I's. We are crossing some T's. Sunday, we're going to play EA Sports College Football. Monday, we're going to wake up with Cainer, another edition of Locked On Talking Balls, the morning show, Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern time. That is the target. If everything goes as planned, we're going to roll it out this Tuesday. It's something unique. It's something different. It's something that nobody else is doing. We're going to have some special guests rolling through the Talking Balls network. It's right up my alley. I hope you guys dig it. I'm excited about it. It is just a different type of voice that's going to be coming on and Talking Ball, and I'm excited about it. So, little teaser for you guys. But come check out the Talking Balls network on YouTube. I think you guys will dig it. Nobody else on the YouTube space is doing it.
I like to think I have connections at some points in times, and I can get information. You and I have been crossing over for 3 years now. I'm like, dang, all right, whatever.
No lies detected. No lies. Hey, look, here's the reality. I know. Coach Jay knows. And our wives know. Nobody else. The other hosts, the fans, one other person knows. But if I said who that person was, the cat would be out of the bag.
Okay. Well, when is the sorry, I was looking at my phone and not paying attention to you. Maybe that's why you didn't tell me. When did you say the announcement's going to happen? Do you know yet?
As soon as possible. I got to have a phone call and iron out the details.
Cool.
And once that's done, we will roll it out.
Cool. Well, I, along with everybody else, eagerly awaiting your announcement. Really excited about that, man, as your channel continues to grow. Really happy for you. Really proud of you. Can't wait to see what this new phase of the Talking Balls Network looks like. But hopefully it still continues to have me on Monday mornings, and you will always have a spot here on Lockdown Balls on Friday morning. So looking forward to it, buddy. Have a great weekend, and we'll get after it next week for Arkansas.
Enjoyed it, man. Go Vols.
Awesome stuff here today on this Locked On Talking Balls. Boogie Bentley for 3 segments here on a bye week, kind of breaking down position group by position group, the positives, the negatives, all that and more here at the bye week. 5 games into the 2025 season. We get back into game week next week, Tennessee and Arkansas. We'll have Locked On crossover with John Neighbors again. We'll break down the quarterback battle, Taylon Green, all that and more coming up on tomorrow or on, I guess, Monday and Tuesday show. Can't wait to get to it. Have a safe, enjoyable weekend, everybody. This is Locked On Balls.